Alright, stop me if you've heard this one before. You're locked in the sterile test chambers of an evil corporation, taking orders from a mysterious voice and using a weird gun to solve puzzles. Yeah? While ChromaGun's actual hook does feel unique and new, one can't help but be overwhelmed by an immediate feeling of familiarity. ChromaGun is a game about painting walls to move balls to solve puzzles. You hold in your hands a gun, which can shoot pellets of 3 different colors onto blank walls. Floating orbs dotted around test chambers are magnetically drawn to walls of the same color. Some of these orbs are also aggressive and will attack you when not being actively pulled to a colored wall. Through a combination of painting walls and seducing orbs with your own alluring body, you'll need to lure these orbs onto switches in order to open the door to the next test chamber. The core mechanics are impressively simple and yet offer more gameplay than one would expect. At the start of the game, you're given a gun that can be cycled between 3 primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. 2 of these colors can also be combined on walls to create purple, orange, and green. However, once a wall has been painted, there's no way to undo it. It is therefore very easy to render a puzzle unsolvable, forcing you to restart the test chamber. Perhaps the most interesting element of this magnetic color mechanic is the way in which you can set up multiple vectors of pull on a single orb. For example, if dealing with a blue orb and you paint walls on each side of the room blue, then the orb will float in the middle of the room. Some of the game's best moments involved setting up elaborate systems of pull to send an orb drifting around corners onto a hard-to-reach switch. Unfortunately, beyond that, there just isn't much there. Other than introducing a few new ways to inhibit orb movement, you never really gain any substantial new abilities, or even find new ways to use the abilities that you have. No matter how good that core idea is, it's never really pushed beyond its base incarnation. Looking back on my experience, I quickly realized that I'd seen most of what this game had to offer within the first hour. Even the test chambers themselves exist in a completely stagnant state, with only the occasional out-of-place ceiling tile or damaged wall to break up the monotony. The story as well seems to exist only to emulate the evil science motif of Portal, rather than to tell an actual story. If you go into ChromaGun expecting anything more than a series of puzzles, you will be disappointed. On the other hand, if you've lived your life wondering what a combination of Portal's test chambers and Zelda block puzzles would look like, well, you're in luck. But from the moment you boot up ChromaGun, its primary influence might as well be plastered on your screen. ChromaGun really wants to be Portal. There is of course nothing wrong with building off of existing ideas, but ChromaGun's stringent reliance on Portal's established formula keeps it from ever evolving beyond it. ChromaGun has to be a game about moving through test chambers, because that's what Portal is. ChromaGun has to place you at the whim of a crazy pseudo-friendly corporation, because that's what Portal did. ChromaGun's underlying mechanic is delightful and extremely interesting. Unfortunately, rather than building a game around that mechanic, the developer opted instead to shove it unceremoniously into a pre-existing game. There is some fun to be had here, but not nearly as much as there ought to be. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. You can also consider subscribing to Nintendo World Report TV, and check out NintendoWorldReport.com for a whole lot more. If you want to support this channel and the site, you can check us out at patreon.com/NWR.